Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, Mount Nimba to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Pocondre, to educate, elevate, and promote. Talking about home affairs, hey, in diaspora, current affairs, hey, reliable information, history, talking about culture, hey, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jar.
And I am Anthony C.A. A pleasant welcome to Focus on Liberia. This is the hour of politics. As always, I'm your host. Do me a favor, share the broadcast with somebody. The nation Liberia remains the focus. And as our name suggests, we are focused on Liberia. Something is going on. Revelations have been made. Many people might have missed it. Many people may not have paid attention to that revelation or to those revelations. I am here to share with you what we all need to know concerning the House of Representatives. In fact, our entire legislature. But the focus of today's presentation will be on the House of Representatives. You are aware of the chaos. You are aware of the allegations, especially the most recent one that got the nations talking. Many people are disgusted. People are feeling ashamed and embarrassed. But here's the deal. We need to understand what is going on here. And that is why I am asking you to share the broadcast with somebody. Liberia is a great nation. And many a times, people don't get to realize that. And the obvious reason is because over 90% of us have not taken time to look at the history of this nation. Today, I am here to do a presentation on the topic, who do members of the House of Representatives represent? I know the answer is obvious. But how do we nail the details to get a picture of how these people have been representing either themselves or the people who elected them. Who do you think they represent? Well, that is what the presentation is intended to do, to tell based on their behavior, based on their conduct, based on the way they have conducted business in the House of Representatives. Who have they represented? We will do so by looking at what the Liberian men will always call their three cardinal responsibilities. So, folks, we will start right now. To answer the question that is the topic for the presentation, who do members of the House of Representatives represent? Themselves or the people who elected them? The ones for whom they were elected. And they were elected to do what? They were elected to represent the people by doing three major things. Representation, and we will tell you what representation is and how they must do it by law. And lawmaking, and also oversight. So, as their name suggests, lawmakers, one of their key responsibilities for which the people of Liberia elected them from about the 73 electoral districts in Liberia is to make law. So we have lawmaking. And how do they do that? They work on drafting, debating, and passing bills in conjunction with the Senate. There is one key word I want us to take from this, and that word is debating. As we speak, the lawmakers are engaged in a debate whether or not Franticofa should be removed. And I like that debate. They have taken ideological sides. There is the anti-Franti group that believe that Franti has done things that warrant his removal as speaker. And so they have grouped themselves into this anti-Franti movement. They are writing letters. They are coming to the microphone and speaking to the media. And they are making it clear. And Liberians are seeing them. Their constituents, the people they represent, are seeing them maybe for the first time taking a side in what is more like a debate, whether or not to remove the speaker. That is the clarity you need to see here. So, the debate to remove the speaker or for the speaker to stay is known to those they represent, except you have not been paying attention. So, when it comes to debating the budget, for example, when was the last time you saw your representative taking an ideological side in debating the budget of Liberia? Do you even hear a budget debate? When was the last time you saw your representative coming to the microphone, writing a letter and putting that letter in the public where they stand on the budget, why he or she will not vote for the budget, what they want to see in the budget for his or her constituents before they can vote for the budget? When was the last time you saw that? Taking a side when it comes to budget debate, participating in the budget debate, writing letters, taking an ideological side, making known what allotments should be allowed and what allotments should not be allowed. Have you seen a representative or your representative taking a decision or taking a position on the budget, taking a stand registering his disagreement on the budget. Have you seen that? Have you seen any lawmaker taking a known position clearly on the budget? The budget is a fundamental document of the country. It is the blood of the country. For Liberia to run, to provide social services and infrastructural development, we need a budget. And the budget, by the way, is law. And they are lawmakers. And these lawmakers will not participate in the debate intended to represent the interest of the people who elected them. Today, to remove the speaker is not in the interest of the people they represent. It is in their interest. And now we see them clearly before the cameras speaking, some writing letters. We saw their signatures signing off for $15,000 and participating in a debate, taking ideological side. We now know where each of them stand on removing the speaker, something that is to their interest. We see them doing everything. Have you seen them like that? Whenever there was a budget debate, have you seen any of them like that? Whenever there was a debate on a concession agreement, have you seen them representing the interests of the people, especially those in the concession area? When it comes to representing the interests of the people versus the interests of a concessionaire, if you look at the way those agreements are usually crafted and finalized, the concessionaire or the company or the investment company that maybe has come to Liberia to invest in, say, the gold mining sector or so, they tend to get everything they want, maximizing profit at the expense, at the displeasure, and at the detriment of the people they represent. Clearly, in all the concession agreements that we've seen arrest so far, the interests of the people have not been served satisfactorily. Now, you may be saying, what is this guy talking about? During the 12 years rule of Unity Party, 68 concession agreements were ratified by our legislature. Out of the 66, a thorough report was done, and that report found 66 out of the 68 to be bookers, meaning those were agreements that were not in the interest of the people. The people were cheated. They had little or nothing in those concession agreements for the people. The concessionaires benefited immensely. The lawmakers themselves got their kickbacks. And it has always been the case. They will always get their kickbacks. And now today we are talking about bribery. In fact, I have a name for the House of Representatives. It is the House of Bribery. It is not, hear me well, it is not the House of Representatives. It is the House of Bribery. They have taken bribes in almost every responsibility they have to carry on behalf of the Liberian people. From ratifying agreements, from passing laws, from debating budgets and passing budgets, they demand and take bribes. You are aware of this statement, brown envelopes. That is bribes, bribery. Our lawmakers have been taking bribes consistently for every constitutional responsibility that they had to carry out for the people. Instead of doing the business of the people to secure and guarantee the people's interest, to uplift their human and material conditions, they have always acted in their interest, You want to know more? I paint a picture for you. Let's take a teacher or a nurse or a police officer who is a civil servant on our laws. I tell you this much. A policeman makes less than $200 in a month. The same can be said about a teacher, and the same can be said about the nurse. These three of civil servants that I mentioned, they have zero benefit to their name as employees of the Liberian government. Now, let's contrast that with a lawmaker. A lawmaker enjoys a US dollar salary. He also enjoys a Liberian dollar salary. He enjoys crack cards. He enjoys gasoline. He enjoys transportation, which is car. And by the way, they have just secured for themselves each a $45,000 worth of car, each of them. So they get transportation, they get gasoline, they get scrap cards. They are entitled to so many things. And when they get to travel, they get benefits and so on and so forth. All of these things are what they get as their benefits. But the people they represent are entitled to a negligible and pitiful salary. And that is all that the people get. So I ask the question, who do they represent? When it comes to debating the budget, they're supposed to be involved with the allocations of money to go to things in their constituencies or to their constituents that will benefit them, that will improve their human and material conditions. For example, school. We have, I believe, about 17 lawmakers representing Monserrate County, if I'm not mistaken, about 17 of them. Because the last time I checked, I heard District 17. It may be 18, I'm not sure. Here's the deal. These 17 lawmakers for the county Monserrate sat right there. I don't know if they even participated in the budget debate. The recent budget that has passed that they are working on right now, I did not hear any of the 17 lawmakers of Monserrate County voicing an opposition to the allotment of 4,000 United States dollars for the Monrovia Vocational Training Center, the MVTC. Maybe you didn't hear me. This budget that they just passed, that allot almost $1 million for each representative in Liberia. That very budget, allotted, and the lawmakers approved that budget. And that budget item for the Monrovia Vocational Training Center is 4,000. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4,000. I didn't say 40. Neither did I say 400,000. Hello? Tell me, who do the representative of Monserrate County represent? Citizens, future leaders of Liberia should be going to the Monrovia Vocational Training Center to acquire skills so that they can be able to win the little jobs that are out there because they have the skills needed to carry on those jobs. Even if they can't get jobs, with, let's say, an employment with maybe an employer somewhere, they can use those skills and employ themselves by putting that very skill into work or into practice. For example, let's say that person went to MVTC and acquired a skill of carpentry. That person can open a carpentry shop and start making decks and chairs for Liberian students to be able to use those decks and chairs. But that is not the case. $4,000 cannot do anything. These lawmakers, 17 of them in Monserrate County, allow a $4,000 budget for the Monrovia Vocational Training Center, whereas they allow about $1 million each for all lawmakers in the Republic of Liberia. So, how did the budget get passed? How do they pass these budgets, by the way? Now, let me bring the revelation that was made by the speaker. And let me be clear as much as I can be. If you listen to the speaker, the interview he had yesterday, it was despicable. I felt an ache in my stomach when I saw posts from people, Liberians who claim to mean well for our country, that the speaker was on point, that the speaker spoke truthfully. Yes, there are some truths he said, I agree. But on the overall, what he said, the revelation that he made, those things alone disqualify him, morally speaking, to be Speaker of the House of Representatives. There is a reason why we call it the Honorable House of Representatives. And there's a reason why also the Senate is also called the Honorable House of Senate. And by law, when we are addressing members of the legislature, we use the word honorable because these are citizens who should behave honorably at every length in their life, especially when it comes to representation, oversight, and lawmaking, that which having to be their constitutional cardinal responsibilities. But these are the people that have consistently engaged into bribery to carry on the three functional responsibilities for which they were elected by the people. So here's the revelation. Fonanti, the speaker, is crying wolf that people have taken bribe for his removal. I believe that is true. How long has Fonanti been speaker? How long has Fonanti been a representative? Least you forget or don't know. Fonanti was deputy speaker during the rule of the CDC. And Fonanti is telling us now that the way they have been passing the budget, making the allocations in the budget, is that the Committee on Ways, Means, and Finance will go and sit at a hotel, and then they will pick up the phone and call a minister of an agency of government, say, for example, the Minister of Internal Affairs. They will call the man and say, hey, we are looking at the budget here. This is a call from the Ways, Means, and Finance Committee. We are charged with the responsibility to carry on the allotments in the budget on behalf of the House of Representatives. We see here that there is a $7 million in the budget for your ministry. Hey, this is the deal. The only way we can approve this $7 million is for you to ensure that we get $1 million out of that $7 million. Fonanti speaking, the speaker of Liberia is speaking, who has been deputy speaker for about 6 years prior to him becoming speaker now. He is making a revelation that the House of Representatives have been involved in what I call scandal, bribery, and taking kickbacks to approve budget for every land ministry and agency in the Republic of Liberia. Jesus Christ of Nazareth. He was on an interview that the whole world was listening to, and the speaker felt that he needed to say this. This has indicted him. This has incriminated him. This has robbed him of any standing whatsoever to remain speaker, for him to admit and confess that the House, through its Ways, Means, and Finance Committee, has been calling lies ministers and agencies heads, soliciting that they gave them some money before or out of what is being allotted for them in order for them to pass that. That is profoundly disgraceful, is criminal, and such a confession speaks to how we are in trouble and that Liberia does not have honorable people representing their interests. Instead, these individuals called lawmakers are only representing themselves. You were elected to represent your people. to ensure that the schools in your district, in your county, get the necessary money so that the schools are renovated, so that the schools are functional and they have all the supplies. The same can be served with the hospitals, so that your roads are renovated, so that all the social services intended to give the people a better standard of living, that those things are in place. And the speaker is telling us, instead of acting through Westminster and Finance Committee to ensure that significant amount of money in the budget for these people they represent through these lines, ministries, and agencies, ensuring that the people get the money they need, they have been taking money from the heads of those lines, ministries, and agency in order to allow their budget to be approved. And you want that man to remain your speaker? It is obvious why he must not be speaker of the House of Representatives. Franti he said, I am a Sastan boy. Myself too, I am a Sastan boy. And I am saying that. This is despicable. Wow. And Jesus taking bribes. And here's the part I also want to bring to you. Another responsibility they have as representatives is called oversight, a power given to them by the Constitution of Liberia. And what is oversight? Or how is oversight executed by them, or should be executed by them? Oversight. They oversee the executive branch of government to ensure accountability and transparency in its operation. Oversight means members of the House of Representatives are constitutionally mandated. The power is given to them to ensure that the executive branch of government is transparent and accountable in its operation. Meaning that everything the executive branch of government does, it is free of corruption, and that when they find any mixed dealings on the part of the executive branch of government, they are to hold that executive branch of government accountable. It's clear. They must ensure transparency and accountability in the operation of the executive branch of government. Franti was speaker when Public Works Minister Giddings confessed and admitted that they, at the Ministry of Public Works, did not follow all the laws required in the $22 million that they had secured somehow for roads rehabilitation. The Senate asked him to apologize. And for them, that was accountability and transparency. First of all, the money did not go through the legislature. By law, any penny spent in the country, whether through loan or other means, must be ratified by the legislature. The very lawmakers have no idea where $22 million came from for road rehabilitation in Liberia. When they got to know about it, in no time they got to know that it did not follow all the laws of Liberia. And what did they do in terms of accountability? A power the Constitution has given to them. They did absolutely nothing. They demanded an apology, as though for someone to apologize is what we call accountability. We are talking millions of dollars here, $22 million in question. And what they did do with that $22 million? According to the Minister of Public Works, a little over $8 million of that money has been spent to put mud on the roads. They said, well, this is operation, no car gets stuck in the mud. And what did they do? They took muds and put more muds on the road. And so they are saying the more muds we get on the road, the likelihood of cars not getting stuck in the mud. But guess what? When the rain comes down, that mud you put on the road will get wet and cars will get stuck in the mud. Was that wise? But that is what was done by the executive branch of government. What did the legislature do? They accepted and they even said, they even recommended that the memo apologize. They even recommended that the memo apologize. Just say sorry. This whole thing about sorry, cutting people loose when they abuse power, when they violate our laws, got us where we are. And if anyone we can hold responsible so solely, so holy, that would be members of the legislature. In this case, the House of Representatives. They have the power. They got to know all the facts. And there was zero accountability. And another thing we should bring to you is the issue of representation. Members represent the interests and concerns of their constituents from single member districts within the counties. They are there to represent the interest and the concerns of their constituents, meaning the people that live in the district that they were elected in. Frontier represent one of the electoral districts in Grand Crew County. Let's look at the Sastan High School from our hometown of Sastan. It is in a dilapidating condition. Frontier gets a budget over $2 million as Speaker of the House of Representatives. I can put my life on the line. There is not even $50,000 in that budget for the Sastan High School. But Frontier enjoys an over $2 million budget. And he is telling me that he is a son of Sastan. When was the last time have you heard Frontier advocating for Sastan High School? When? People of Sastan. Let's localize it for once. He said he's a son of Sastan. So show Sastan love before we even talk about Liberia to see the picture very clearly. He enjoys a budget of over $2 million. Sastan High School may not even have a budget in the budget that he passed as Speaker. And I never heard him say anything. Hello? Who does he represent? As a representative and as a Speaker of the Republic of Liberia? The people of Liberia? The people of Grand Crew? The electoral district that elected him? Or his own people of Sastan? Who really does Frontier represent? Frontier represent 1% and 1% only. Frontier represent Frontier. The same can be said about all the lawmakers in the Republic of Liberia. You bring Yumley, she represent herself. You bring a Lion Tom Dillon, he represent himself. You bring any of them. You bring Snow, any of them. You bring Abbott, Chairman, Senator, all of them represent no one else but themselves. For we see it so clearly. Look at what they put in the budget for themselves to resuscitate themselves financially. They are doing so well. They each enjoy pretty close to $1 million in the budget for them. And as though that is not enough, they are taking bribes and kickbacks in order for them to carry on their cardinal responsibility. The Liberian people should be outraged. But yeah, they are. They are all cool with it. These people don't represent the people. They represent themselves. This is a monumental revelation coming from a Speaker. Now, the Westminster and Fana people and be calling the people. They call Minister Ed, my man, we get $5 million in the budget for you, but you need to give for $1 million. His own words. Before we can pass the budget, and he admitted that's how they have been passing the budget. When he was deputy speaker, that was done. And he is speaker. I believe that is how it's been done. And now he's saying that Liberia is hard to change. To change Liberia is hard. What makes it hard is because people like Franti and all our lawmakers do not stand for the people. They do not represent the people. They do not carry on the oversight, the representation, and the lawmaking in the interest of the people, but instead in their own interest and not in the interest of the nation. That's what makes it hard. We have a president today in Mr. Joseph Yumambwaka, an elderly statesman who's been around for so long, who claimed that he is well experienced to serve our country as president and that he is not corrupt. But hear me well. The Ways, Means, and Finance Committee of both houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives, those two committees have been the one that have been butchering the budgets of Liberia and lining the pockets of no one else but the lawmakers themselves, cheating our people and giving them nothing for their upliftment. President Bwaka have had two opportunities in his life as an elderly statesman of our country to pick a man or a woman or somebody or a Liberian citizen to be his vice president. 2 times he had that opportunity. And at one point he said, I will pick a VP or a vice presidential candidate who represent my values. Joseph Bwaka, unquote. But who did Bwaka pick? Who did President Bwaka now pick? The first time he ran, he picked Nukwe. Emmanuel Nukwe was part of the Ways, Means, and Finance Committee, where he cheated the people of Liberia, represented his interest and the interest of lawmakers only. And if you look at our country is not even moving an inch. Look at our military, weak, unpaid, nothing whatsoever. Look at our police. Look at the uniform the police wear in Liberia. And look at our lawmakers when they dressed. Look at our teachers. If you see the teachers teaching in Liberia, government school teachers, look at their shoes they wear. You will know. And look at the shoes the lawmakers are wearing, people. Go and visit a teacher in his or her house and see how they're living. And go visit a representative and see how they're living and where they live. Mr. Bwaka took Nukwe, the architect from the committee that is responsible for distributing the money in the corrupt faction. There where President Bwaka now then took somebody to be his running mate, Emmanuel Nukwe. My understanding is that Nukwe landed on the sanction list of the U.S. government, but Mr. Bwaka took him then. He now got another opportunity for another election cycle. Who did he pick again? Another man from the Ways, Means, and Finance Committee, in person of Jeremiah Pankon. Another man who has been accused repeatedly of tampering with the budget for his own benefit. And as Francis said, these committee members have been soliciting kickbacks from lines, ministry, and agency heads before they can approve their budget. And when they get the money, what do? They distribute the money among themselves. Mr. Bwaka again had a second opportunity to pay a man of character to be his running mate. He went to Ways, Means, and Finance Committee again and paid a Jeremiah Cohn with all the records against Jeremiah Cohn. Liberia is screwed big time. From the president to your lawmakers, they are all dishonorable. I say that. I just give you the picture, and that's just the fact. This is why this legislature This House of Representatives under Franti will not hold the executive accountable, will not provide the required oversight by law, a power and constitutional mandate giving to them to do or carry out on behalf of the people. They can't do it. Sadly and sadly, these people passed a budget. They increased the budget of the Ministry of Presidential Affairs and decreased the budget of agriculture, decreased the budget of education. Hello. They increased the budget of EPS. They increased the budget of NSA. JFK got a pitiful amount in the budget. And these are your lawmakers. For them, when they're sick, they can fly out. The citizen can't. So they don't represent the interests and concerns of the people. JFK has been a serious concern. Well, this is how I will come to the end of this presentation. I hope I was of help in simplifying these things for you. And I hope my presentation was able to show that the lawmakers do not represent the people who elected them for them to represent, and that only represent themselves and themselves and themselves only. So, when Francis say change is difficult, they are the one making it difficult because they are not doing what they're supposed to do. The Grand Crew Technical College gets a budget of $630,000. Franti, as speaker, gets a budget of over $2 million. But that the county we represent, is he not making it difficult? He's making it difficult. He's saying that it's difficult now because his job is on the line. Franti is speaking now because his job is on the line. Where has he been? Deputy Speaker for 12 years on our CDC. What did he say? When did he get to know that this is difficult? Because his job is on the line now. The representatives are making the noise today because their interest is on the line. Had they been the interest of the people, you will not hear them debating and taking ideological side and writing letters. No, they won't do it. They have not done it. And so it's clear and it's obvious. And there's no debate about this. There is no debate about this whatsoever. They don't hold members of the executive accountable. They get away with the abuse of power. They get away with violation of our laws. The Deputy Finance Minister, Anthony Myers, admitted during a statement before the legislature that there were changes made to the budget after the budget was passed, which was a blatant and flagrant violation of our budget law, and he's a free man, no accountability whatsoever. The president did not act. We heard about unholy salaries and benefits at LTA, the scandals that are there. The president would not take any decision whatsoever, but he took decision against people who were not from the party, but the people he appointed doing the very thing he would not take decision. He's not for the interest of the people. The executive, the lawmakers, all of them, most of them are not in the interest of the people. So our government officials, most of them, members of the House of Representatives, all of them, the executive branch of government, especially the Ministry of Presidential Affairs, wholly and solely is not in a tiny interest of the people. Zero. They are all there for themselves. Mr. Bwaka travels, he goes with 60-man delegation, 50-man delegation, and he ensures that they each get hotel, per diems, and transportation, and that they are taken care of with the people taxpayer money. None of them will complain, but the teachers are complaining. The civil servants are complaining. So they are not serving us. This is what makes it difficult. They have gotten their cars. President Walker has gotten his bulletproof cars. Where are the transportation for teachers? Where is the transportation for teachers? Where are the buses for nurses? Where? Can you find it? Mr. Walker has gotten his bulletproof car. Jeremiah Kun has gotten his bulletproof car. The lawmakers have gotten their cars. I mean, when that guy is over $100,000 car, the last time he got into trouble, almost all the ministers, they all have their cars. They are still trying to bring the buses for the what? The citizens of Liberia. They are still trying to get the buses. Hello? Well, I have to leave you now. I have to allow you to cry your own cry. And I have to remind you that this revelation should be a reason Liberians in their majority take a second look at this government, especially the legislature or the House of Representatives, that they have been stealing, cheating, taking kickback, bribes. So I'm not interested in fanatic crying wolf that people took bribes and all that. He has been the key player in this whole bribery scandal. I mean, this is the horse of bribes. So why is he crying? He has been parts and parcels of the bribery. So I'll leave you with a new name for the House of Representatives as you have known it. It is the House of Bribery. And I encourage you to be able to refer to it in that manner. It is the House of Bribery. They take bribes all the time to even confirm people. They take bribes to ratify concession agreements. They take bribes to pass laws. They take bribes to even pass the budget. So it is the House of Bribery. Let us now begin to call it what it actually is today in Liberia. On that note, I will take leave of you, and we will leave you with the song that says, "We are indeed all Liberians." My name is Anthony Sie, and I brought you yet another analytical edition of the Hour of Politics here at Focus on Liberia. Until we see you again another time, enjoy the song that says, "We are all Liberians," and bye-bye, and I love you all.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Liberia.